Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, headed by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, yesterday urged the Kwara state government to change the names of all the grant-aided public schools in line with the state's education law cap E1, which made turn public schools. This followed last Thursday's violence at Baptist High School, Hijab, in Oyo local government area of Kwara State, which led to the killing of Habib Idris, a Muslim student of the school, when a rally by the Muslim students was reportedly disrupted by hoodlums and security agents. The NSCIA, in a statement yesterday by its Director of Administration, Zabairu Haruna Usman Ugu, said it will no longer sit by and allow the various court judgments secured by the Muslim Ummah on hijab usage and others to continue to be consigned to the dust bin of history. Henceforth, we shall, in conjunction with other stakeholders, institute contempt of court proceeding against any person that violates a legally binding judgment of court if the government fails to do its duty. We call on the government of Kwara State to, as a matter of urgency, commence the process of changing the names of all the grant-aided public schools in line with the state education law cap E1, which made them public schools, Usman Ugu said. He also challenged the Kwara State government to work its talk on directives and adopt a more stringent approach to ending the amorphous and systematic bullying of Muslim students by the authorities of the grant-aided public schools on account of their religious beliefs. He described last Thursday's violence as a sadistic and barbaric carnage unleashed on innocent Muslim students. He said the victims of this premeditated violence were only exercising their constitutionally guaranteed right to peaceful protest over decision of a Oyo Baptist High School, Hijab, to deny some female Muslim students entering to the school premises on account of their use of hijab. He also blamed the Kwara State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) for the violence over the recent statement in which it vowed to reject any imposition of any of the use of hijab in the so-called mission schools in the state. He stated it will be recalled that the Muslim students, despite peaked exponentially last week as tension rose and nerves frayed over this unjust treatment. This situation was aggravated by the inaction of the government of Kwara State to quickly arrest the situation and enforce its own directive, which was restated on January 25th, 2022 to all public schools in the state on the use of hijab and beret for willing students after the management of Oyo Baptist High School suddenly decreed that female students should not wear hijab to the school again. With the indifferent attitude of the government to this infringement, the students took their frustration and complaint to the Kwara State Teaching Service Commission and to the government house in Ilorin prior to the protests at the school gates in Hijab. Okay. They should change all this because government is giving them some kind of aid. So because of that, they should change them to public school instead of having a missionary school. I don't even know why this is a problem. I'm sure maybe there must be something about that school academically that is making all these Muslim students to go there, because I see no reason why, if somebody says you should not wear your hijab, which is more important to you, why can't you bullshit the school and go elsewhere? What is so special about the school that you can't leave the school? Or does it mean we don't have all this missionary or all this Muslim or Islamic school in Kwara State that they can go there? I don't understand. If this is a purely public school, this is not a purely public school, and that's why they're having problem. If it is really government-owned school, the government owns the school 100%. I think maybe it shouldn't have been a problem, because everybody wants to exercise his or her own rights. Oh, it's a public school, it's for everybody. In as much it is not fully government school, we will continue to have this problem. In as much is a missionary Christian school, whether the government is giving them aid or not, it is inconsequential. But how was the school established? How was it founded? This thing? Some people are saying that if the government is still funding the schools, they should just keep off. If it is purely that government instituted all these schools themselves, everybody can say, oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I don't want to do. But I don't know whether the other public schools that are government owned one, whether we have this back and forth on hijab or no hijab. Because maybe there should be something special about the school that they don't want to leave the school, because I'm sure your religion and your hijab is more important than you to stay in that school. And the parents that are risking the lives of their children, I don't know why you are doing that. There are a lot of schools, and I'm sure in that school, the population of Muslim students will not be up to that of Christian students. In as much as a Christian school, they say Baptist church, Baptist school. I don't know. Now you want the government to change their name totally. How? Why? Why should they do that? Why is the Sultan saying that? Well, I'm a Muslim. I would love to see every Christian converted to Islam. In fact, I pray for them to see the light of Islam and join the right path. But I don't think it is proper for government to eradicate or force Christian schools to become public schools, as suggested by someone who has lost the control of his community to bandits. That is a Sultan. Let Muslims who want their children to attend missionary schools allow their children to abide by the rule of the schools instead of showing them a way to force dominance. My friend, there's no salvation and redemption from sin in Islam. Even Muhammad couldn't define the final destination for your Muslims. Jesus Christ remains the only way, the truth, and life. Repent of your sins and be saved. Shalom. I have always maintained that the Sultan of Sokoto is one of the problems of Nigeria, even when he is pretending to be hobnobbing with people who say they are finding solutions to the country's problems. Just hear what his council is saying. He will soon tell Kwara to change the names of the schools to Islamic ones. He will not face the problems bedeviling Sokoto, but would dabble into those facing Kwara in order to create more flashpoints in Nigeria, from which he and his cohort benefit. Yes, they benefit from it. Well, and when leaders are being mentioned, you will hear a man like this being mentioned. One wonders when Muslims would come to their senses and perish the idea that Nigeria can become an Islamic state. They ought to know that their resort to the use of violence and government patronage rather than persuasion to propagate their religion is a clear indication that Islam is a dying religion. Why not suggest the Muslim parents that want their wards to use hijab to school to change their children to a Muslim school? You are a leader. Please be a good leader to God and humanity. Remember, it's a government school. Every school has the right to choose their uniform and mode of dressing. It's not a government. It's not a full. It's not a mod. It's not a school. It's not a government school. Government just supports. It's not a government school. Somebody says it's a government school. It's not a government school. It's a government school and they will not name it a Baptist church. I don't know. Where every school has the right to form their own way of doing things. So guys, let's hear your opinion and have your take on this. We shouldn't do more on this too much.